Have you all seen the trend now? Everyone online is suddenly talking about loud budgeting. People are proudly saying, sorry, I can't go. It's not in my budget. And listen, as an accountant, I am so happy that people are finally creating financial boundaries. But the one thing that people are not talking about is that loud budgeting without a plan is really quiet overspending with a ring light. Let's get into it. Segment 1, what loud budgeting actually means. Let's take this to the beginning. To be transparent, I didn't know about loud budgeting. I had to figure out where it came from. And what I found was in early 2024, a creator posted a TikTok saying, my goal this year isn't to make more, it's to stop pretending that I don't have more than I do. Ooh, that's powerful. That clip hit 1 million views overnight and sparked what is now called loud budgeting. The concept is simple. Instead of flexing what you bought, you flex your boundaries. And honestly, as an accountant and an older millennial, that's powerful. Let me tell you why. For years, money was a silent stress. People whispered about debt. They hid their overspending. They even hid their wins. The quiet moments when we paid off our credit card or hit a savings goal, no one really talked about. But now, transparency is trending. Financial honesty is finally the new confidence. But somewhere between inspired and influence, the message got lost because the internet made saving look like another aesthetic and forgot the structure behind it. All right, segment 2. It is actually trending. Let's talk facts because this isn't just social media noise. According to Clarify Capital, global search for loud budgeting jumped 1,637% in 1 month. In the US alone, the search went up to 765%. Business Insider said Gen Z is using loud budgeting to build financial literacy. Investopedia describes it as money movement rising in response to inflation and cost pressure. And Fortune reported that while it started in 2024, it's still relevant in 2025. So while it's not as hot as meme stocks and viral dances, it's serious enough that the banks, blogs, and financial media are all talking about it. And when mainstream finance starts paying attention to TikTok trends, you know something bigger is happening underneath. Why the momentum? Let's be real. The economy is tight. Wages haven't moved much, debt's climbing, and people, especially my younger earners, are realizing the math ain't mathing. So loud budgeting became a cultural reset. It gave people permission to opt out of keeping up. It said, no, I can't go. Not because I'm broke, but because I have goals. But like every trend, it can go from empowerment to exhaustion if you don't have a plan behind the post. All right, segment 3, where loud budgeting goes wrong. I am going to say the quiet part out loud. Some of us have turned loud budgeting into a performance art. When you announce that you're budgeting online, but don't actually follow through, you turn discipline into theater. And when your goal becomes approval through clicks instead of actual progress, your finances stop working the moment no one is watching. So what's really happening? Most people do not track their finances. They just announce it. A real budget isn't likes and captions. It's numbers, it's accountability, and it's systems. Oversharing, it has a cost. Some friends might take it the wrong way. Some people might see your boundaries as bragging, and saying no all the time can get emotionally draining. So yes, be loud about your goals, but don't let your identity depend on the audience. Because if your budget needs an applause, it's not a budget, it's a performance. The main takeaway, stop performing discipline, start practicing it. Your audience doesn't need to see the receipts. Your results will speak for themselves. Segment 4, why is this gaining momentum? Here's a hint, let's look at our economy. Now, let's get into why loud budgeting actually makes sense. This isn't just Gen Z being dramatic. These are real social and economic forces behind this. Let's start with economic pressure. Reports from Bankrate and Schwab show that people under 40 feel the heaviest hit in inflation and debt. Loud budgeting is their way of taking back control. Authenticity. We're seeing a cultural shift. People want transparency in money and mental health and lifestyle. No more faking the funk. Accountability. Saying your goals out loud actually does help you stick with them, and it reduces peer pressure to overspend. And last but not least, social amplification. A catchy phrase, a rememberable message, a TikTok algorithm equals instant virality. But here's the other side of it. As with most online movements, there's fatigue. It can start to feel performative or worse, competitive. It starts to become who can say no the loudest or who could be the most frugal. This is not financial freedom. This is financial theater. Not everything viral is valuable. The goal isn't to make budgeting popular, it's to make it personal. Segment 5, the CFO's perspective, turning noise into numbers. Here we go. I have been an accountant for over 13 years and a CFO of my own business for over 5 years. And what I have learned is this: willpower is not a wealth strategy. Systems are. I always tell my clients, treat your money like a team. Every account has a job. You should have a checking account for your daily needs, a savings account for emergencies, a business account for growth, an investment account for your future, and a guilt-free spending account, because money should also be enjoyable. Think like a CEO. Your paycheck shouldn't just hit one account and sit there. It should move automatically into 5 or 6 different accounts for 5 or 6 different purposes. This way, when you spend from your fun account, there's no guilt. When you transfer to your savings, there's no hesitation. When you have an emergency, there's no panic. Every dollar has a home and a mission. How do you break up these accounts? There's several systems. There's one, you have the 70-20-10 system, which is 70% are your essentials, 20% is your savings and your debt, and 10% is your guilt-free spending. Or you can try the 50-30-20 rule. Keep in mind that these systems are not a restriction. It's more about a rhythm. Your budget should flow with your life, not fight it. And here's when all costs come together. Make sure it's automated. Set up your transfers on paydays, your bills, set up your savings, set up your investments. Everything should move automatic, because people that look like they have it all together and they looked disciplined, I guarantee you they have automated their lives in some capacity. This is what I called quiet discipline. It's not loud, it's not glamorous, but it's why your future self sleeps peacefully at night. And here's the real flex. Loud budgeting isn't about saying no, it's about showing growth. It's not what you cut, it's what you're building quietly behind the scenes. So if you're going to be loud, make sure your numbers are too. Segment 6, the psychology of loud budgeting. Let's talk psychology, because this trend didn't come out of nowhere. Studies from the Journal of Consumer Research shows we mimic financial behavior that signals confidence. In 2010, the confident looked like a designer bag. In 2025, it looks like, no thank you, saving for my future. But here's the catch. Identity without intention equals inconsistency. You can't copy financial confidence. You have to calculate it. That's what separates influencers from investors. True confidence doesn't need an audience. In all walks of life, it's the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you transfer $200 into your savings account, because people might like your confidence, but your future will love your consistency. There you have it. Loud budgeting isn't just a social media trend. It is a mindset shift. It shows people that you are ready to talk about money out loud without shame, guilt, or fear. But here's a reminder: discipline doesn't need an audience. Track quietly, grow intentionally, and share when it helps, not just when it's a trend. All right, it is your turn. Are you team quiet budget or are you team loud budget? Drop in the comments and tell me one thing that you're saying no to this month. I'll feature a few in my next business news, trend, and case study video. And if you want to hang out a little bit longer, check out my business trends playlist somewhere up here. Until next time, I'm Sabrina Michelle, helping you create systems that will still serve you 5 years from now. Until next time, bye.